والدعاء إلى الهدى ودلالة على الخير ابتغاء وجه الله ومرضاته وقرب وثوابه سبحانه وتعالى مع لطف وعافية برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم إنا نسألك علم لدني ومشرب صافي الهاني يا وهاب يا غني. اللهم إنا نسألك علم لدني ومشرب صافي الهاني يا وهاب يا غني. اللهم إنا نسألك علم لدني ومشرب صافي الهاني يا وهاب يا غني. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد المأمون عين المضمون والفهم المكنون من سر الكاف والنون وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. وارزقنا اللهم نصيبا وافرا من سر قولك إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد المأمون على العلم المضمون والفهم المكنون من سر الكاف والنون وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. وارزقنا اللهم نصيبا وافرا من سر قولك إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد المأمون على العلم المضمون والفهم المكنون من سر الكاف والنون وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. وارزقنا اللهم نصيبا وافرا من سر قولك إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون. We do it 7 times كي. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد المأمون على العلم المضمون والفهم المكنون من سر الكاف والنون وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. وارزقنا اللهم نصيبا وافرا من سر قولك إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد المأمون على العلم المضمون والفهم المكنون من سر الكاف والنون وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. وارزقنا اللهم نصيبا وافرا من سر قولك إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد المأمون على العلم المضمون والفهم المكنون من سر الكهف والنون وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. وارزقنا اللهم نصيبا وافرا من سر قولك إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد المأمون على العلم المضمون والفهم المكنون من سر الكهف والنون وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. وارزقنا اللهم نصيبا وافرا من سر قولك إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد المأمون على العلم المضمون والفهم المكنون من سر الكاف والنون وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. وارزقنا اللهم نصيبا وافرا من سر قولك إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون في كل لحظة أبدا عدد خلقه ورضا نفسه وزنة عرشه ومداد كلماته. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. We are continuing with our lesson, inshallah. And today we're going to enter the book AnNubdhah. I understand that one of our students here of the those who are in the Dawrah has the book AnNubdhah in PDF. So if you can share, inshallah, at least there's something to see now on the screen. Right? There's something to see on the screen. AnNubdhah is been translated into English, and I'm sure in Malay. I'm not sure what is it called in Malay, right? But probably it's translated into Malay already. I'm not too sure, right? But in English, yes, in English it is translated into. It has been translated in English. Okay. So anyone who has a PDF of AnNubdhah, AnNubdhah Sughra, right? You can actually share it, right? Inshallah. Right. So to the last lesson, we spoke about our Sheikh, our Habib, Habib Abu Bakr al-Adani, right? And today is the what of Dhul Hijjah. Do you all know what of Dhul Hijjah today? It's his house, right? Or tomorrow, is it? Today is what of Dhul Hijjah? So I don't even keep track of what Dhul Hijjah is today. Yeah, okay, we want the English. Okay, is English. نعم. Because I saw her, Ustazah Mariam Haida, she posted something about today and about the Hawla of Habib Abu Bakr al-Adani. Tamam. Yeah, she mentioned it. Right, so نعم. Right, so she mentioned it, right? About the Hawla of Habib al-Adani, right, today. So because we're close to his, I think it's tomorrow. Right, so it should be close by. Correct. Let me just check her message again. Mm. So it's on the 28th of Dhul Hijjah. His haul is on the 28th of Dhul Hijjah. Is that today? Mm. Okay, never mind.
Not today.
So inshallah we will huh? Is it? Is it today?
No, not today.
What is not today?
Today
What
is
is today?
23rd
I lost track.
Zulhijjah.
24th.
But 25th, Are we 25th? 24th, 24th today, 24th Dhul Hijjah. That means his haul is soon lah, inshallah. Okay, in 4 days, the haul of Haibur Adani, 28th of Dhul Hijjah. Tamam. Okay, Bismillah, afwan, my internet got off. So just dua, inshallah, the internet is smooth all the way. Inshallah, mashallah. So we're going to continue, right? We are going to just this is the translator's introduction. You can read yourself, inshallah. Can go further down. I can go down the introduction, right? And you can inshallah, right? I think next speech. Here's the next speech. Today I'll be going to مبادئ العلم كل فني تمام. So as you can, so from yesterday we were and this before that we were doing a bit of an introduction like on this knowledge. Let's stop here. So we're at the matlaq Qur'ani, right? The Qur'anic starting point. Start there. All right. Yeah. So we are speaking about. We gave for the past few lessons. Right, it was an introduction, right, to this entire knowledge and the importance of this knowledge, right? And to open up for us even more, right? What is this knowledge about and the importance of this knowledge, right? We will speak about. This is just going to go through a bit, about the qasid, right? What is our goal, our aim, our objectives, right, in studying this knowledge. Right, and the first thing is that we see, right, in the study of this knowledge, as we mentioned earlier on, right, it is a knowledge of protection, right, to seek protection, right, to seek protection of protection from the words or taking from the words of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who has clarified for us, how do we seek protection in this time, whereby the entire world will be plunged in darkness upon darkness. And he spoke about it, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So, and yesterday you mentioned that even when the whole world is plunged in darkness upon darkness, there is always a light of hope. There is always a group of illuminated individuals, right, who are not only are they righteous, they are actually in fact on the level and the path of the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, of the first generation of Muslims. Right, so there are people who will always be like that, right? Like that in every generation. Even it gets worse and worse as time goes by. Yes, right. But that it shows the general person, right, in the generation, right. But that in every generation there will be those who are like the first people, like the first Muslims, right, the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the first thing is that of our intentions or our goals, our objectives, right, in seeking this knowledge, right, is to seek the protection, right, to learn the protection as delivered to us by our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yesterday I gave the analogy about the rain, right? The first rain, and then the drought. Remember the analogy yesterday, and then the second rain, right? So the first rain has been collected for us, right? The Sahaba, the companions, the Tabi'in, right, they have collected this rain, they have collected this first rain, and they preserve this first rain for us to drink from, right? Especially when we are facing drought, when we're facing a desperate situation, right? The Sahaba, the Tabi'in, the righteous, they've collected this first rain for us. It's all there. It's all mawjud. It's all there. It's just that we're not looking at it. It's just that we're not speaking it out, right? But it's more obvious in front of us, the second rain that's raining all around us, right? That's more obvious and is more easily accessible, right? But it's on us to put in effort to look for the buckets of water, right, from the first rain, to search, right? Which is why it all goes back to talibul ilm. It goes back to seeking secret knowledge. And just before this, I was watching a video on Habib Abu Bakr Adani, like conducting a dawrah, conducting a course on one of his books, Al-Iqlid, right? Al-Iqlid, it is the application of the 5 knowledges of Fiqh Tahawulat. Fiqh Tahawulat has 5 different knowledges. So the book Al-Iqlid, right, is an application of the 5 different knowledges. So as mentioned, it is a full science. It's a full science. One thing that I actually want to share the video, but I think my internet cannot handle it. Right. I was just thinking when I was watching the video, and Habib Abu Bakr Adni, he was actually speaking. It's as if he answered my question that I asked myself a few days ago, or I spoke about it a few days ago, I think on Monday, whereby I was saying that, you only have a few sessions here, right? Can you hear me well? Bismillah, Bismillah. Uh, Let me see. Why can you hear me well? You can't hear me well. Is it I don't know how else to change this. Is it okay? Is it just okay, then meaning the person who can't hear me well, then it's your computer. If everybody else can hear me well. Okay, mashallah. Okay, mashallah. Because I don't want to be speaking and no one can hear me. Right, so anyway, I'll put a link here. I was watching this video earlier on, or maybe I'll show it later on. But it's not translated in Arabic. Right? But Habib Abu Bakr, as if he was answering my concerns. I think on Monday I was mentioning that we only have a few lessons, a few short lessons, throughout this daura, right? And it's like 3 lessons per week times 6 weeks, right? There'll be 18 lessons. But I don't know if I'll continue past Daura. I don't know, right? But and I was saying, inshallah, as what you say in Tarim, and it qalil walakin fihi barakah. Qalil walakin fihi barakah, right? It is little, it is a small amount, but there is barakah in it, right? There is a blessing in it, right? And it is that when I was watching one of the videos, it was a dawra on Iqlid. Iqlid is one of his books whereby he speaks about the 5 different knowledges. We will speak about it, inshallah, we reach there, about the 5 different knowledges of the Tahawulat. And he was saying that the beauty of dawra, mashallah, I actually want to share because he was talking about dawra, and we are all in the summer dawra right now. And he was saying the beauty of dawra, right, is that people, they go into a mode, like a Ramadan mode, right? The Ramadan mode, you go into a mode whereby you give your very best, right? You give your very best, right, to gain as much as you can, and from there, what you equipped with in regards to knowledge, wherever you're equipped with, you will get what you need, right, to survive, when the dawrah ends. You will get what you need to survive when the dawrah ends. And he gave the dalil for dawrah, there is a dalil for dawrah in that in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right, during the years of the wufud, the years of delegation, right, whereby people will come to Medina from all over Arabia, and they would spend, between 3 days to a week to a month, right, depending on how long they can stay. They would come, they would take Islam, right, they would take Shahada, they would pledge their allegiance to Rasulullah, and they would sit there like for a dawrah. They would take the essentials of Islam, right? What they need to learn about Islam, and then they'll go back to their towns. They'll go back to their qaryah. They'll go back to their villages, right, and spread Islam there, right? And you can see it's really, mashallah. It is really, it's really, mashallah, that in the time of Rasulullah, this happened, right? Whereby they would come, learn very intensive, right? Learn what they need to learn, and they go back to their towns and they would spread it, and Allah will give them barakah, Allah will give them any ilham, Allah will give them inspiration, Allah will give them knowledge from themselves, and Allah will open up, right, for them. They took from the barakah of Rasulullah and spread. And mashallah, it's a very good and it's a very beautiful kalam, that very beautiful words that Habib of Qur'anic he spoke about regards to dawrah, mashallah. Right. So anyway, we were speaking about it. Right. So anyway, so our first qasd, our first goal or aim, right, in this dawrah, this very short dawrah on fiqh tahawulat, is that we want the siyana, meaning we want protection, right, in this zaman of ours. And the second of our goals in fiqh tahawulat, right, is to learn how to do da'wah in our zaman. Tajdid lughat da'wah. That's one of the qasd, right? Tajdid lughat da'wah, that you want tajdid lughat da'wah, that you want to renew the way we call people to Islam, right? And we people to the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because right now, that is, as going back to our analogy, and I'm going to keep using this over and over again, of the analogy of the rain, right? The first rain and second rain, right? Right now, there are two rains, and majority of human beings are gulping down the second rain, and they are convinced the second rain is correct. They are convinced the second rain is all they need, and they're convinced the second rain is a solution to all. They are convinced, right? Because they see it working in front of them. They see it working, right? So right now we have this very, this job of, first and foremost, for our own selves, to convince our own selves, right? If we are not convinced yet that the first rain is all that we need. In fact, we can only consume the first rain, and we need to stop consuming the second rain. And all of us probably have already consumed a bit of the second rain. We need to remove it from our system and cleanse rain from our system, and keep consuming from the first rain, right? To reach to ourselves first, and then to convince others, right? To actually convince others that, what you think is nourishment, or what you think is good water, is actually poison. It is actually poison, but it's disguised as life-giving water. SubhanAllah. Okay, number 3, our qasd, right? What of our qasd in fiqh. So you're clear. You know what are your any what are your any maqsood, right? What you are aiming for, right? What aims, what are your objectives, right? You know where are we headed in this. Because it's very easy in fiqh tahawulat, right, to go into a lot of words, a lot of talk about the fasad, or the corruption of the time, right, that you get, you feel as if you're drowning. You feel as if you're drowning. And that is why I've not been answering questions that were posed last time around, right? Because these questions, yes, they all talk about the fasad or the corruption of our time, yes, right? But it's not time for us right now to address them, right? Because as mentioned, these are all symptoms, and I can't keep, attacking or I can't keep, addressing every single symptom. It's just going to be a billion symptoms. There's going to be more millions and millions of symptoms popping up all over the world. Right? What we need to address, we need to go into and understand, is the source of these, problems that we're seeing sprouting all over the world. Okay, so that's so we understand what is our maqsood. So it's going to be structured study, all right? Structured study. So I'm not going to jump into like issues of, like what to do nowadays. Our girls, they are going into this, they're going into that, they're doing all kinds of nonsense. They're dressing and they hit the hijab, and people are losing their faith, and they're not praying, and they're not fasting. They're finding it so difficult, and isn't that. Yes, it's all this is happening, and all of this has been prophesied by Rasulullah. They have all been prophesied. Yes, yes. Right. And right now in Singapore, there's like this concert going on. I'm in time when I'm hearing about it. Right, this concerts going on in Singapore, and the Muslims, even from madrasas in Singapore, first-time madrasa students, who are raving about it, about concerts by people, and you're wondering how in the world, why are Muslims going for these things? So we need to go down to the source, the root of the problem. Why is it that people who believe in the hereafter, we believe in the akhirah, we believe in the akhirah, we believe mashallah, Habib Abu Bakr Ali in his the one I was watching just now, with regards to Dawra, there's many of the Sahaba came, from other towns, other cities, and came, and they just sat with Rasulullah for a few days, and they learned what they need to learn from Rasulullah, and they went back to their towns and never came back. A lot of them never actually came back to see Nabi Muhammad again. They in hadha bi suhbati Rasul. Right? They got success, right, by being the Sahaba of Rasulullah alaihi wasallam. Right? But they met him once, and then they never met him again. Some of them met him again during Hajj, right? His farewell pilgrimage. They met him again. Right? But khalas, most of them only met him once or twice. And then there was enough. Right, for them to understand. One of the meetings, it was a Sahaba that came to Rasulullah, and he said,